Hey guys, this is Kelly. I am back with another layout. This is for SpiegelMom Scraps, and this is the second layout that I'm sharing with you. I will have two more to share with you as well. So I am using the Felicity Jane Zoe kit, and I am pulling out all of these beautiful pastel colors, and I am choosing those because this photo of my son, he is standing in front of a mural, and it has a ton of pink and blues behind it, and he's wearing an aqua shirt. So it just really worked well for this layout. So the other things that I have pulled to work with were the Ferris wheel sequins, which I end up not using. I use some sequins that are no longer in stock, but I will link a replacement. I used, I think it was wedding bells, and they were teeny tiny little stars, but you can find those in Crushing on Purple. She has that mix in that has these teeny tiny stars that I use, and I also use Black Tie Event. The sequins, when I made this layout, were in stock and they have just sold out. She does sell out her mixes pretty quickly, but the holographic sequins that I use, she has in stock in just a section, or in a pack of just holographic sequins, and they're gorgeous. So if you're looking for something like that, she definitely has a couple of things that you can substitute. So I am not gonna lie, this layout took me probably closer to 2 hours to put together. I did have to walk away from it and just come back and look at it with fresh eyes, and I have cut out quite a bit from the video because it was literally me just taking different scraps of paper, pushing it around until I could finally get the layout like I wanted. Now at this point, this is almost exactly how my layout ends up. And I'm not sure why I deviated from it. I think I was just trying to do too much and have too many patterns. And when I was able to rein myself back in and just concentrate on using a couple of the colors in the kit as opposed to all of the colors, like you want to use all of the pretty things, but sometimes that just does not work. Once I found myself getting back to just like the basics, the aquas, black, white, with just a little pop of pink, I was able to make the layout fairly quickly. So in just a second, you will see a piece of paper to the left, that pink, yellow, and turquoise striped. I love the painterly striped, and because all the colors are in the mural, I was thinking I'd be able to get it to work on the page, but it seemed too young. But I guess juvenile, and also more like ice cream. For whatever reason, it made me think of ice cream for this page. So once I was able to get that out of my head, I did push that strip of paper around quite a bit trying to get it to work on the page. But once I was able to just give it up and not fight with it, the page came together. So this photo is of my son. He is in front of a mural outside of the photography studio that we ended up choosing for his senior portraits. The mural is gorgeous. It's in a very small town. It's a brick building, and it has so much character, and we love the photographer. And before we left for the day, I was like, okay, I just need to take a quick picture. The sun was awful. It was midday. It was bright, and somehow I managed to get a pretty decent picture for, it being a bad time of day to take photos, and, my son not wanting to pose. So this is a Shimmers product. It is called Salt of the Earth Pasties, and it is a different shade of white modeling paste. I wouldn't say it's a true white, but it's not a true cream either. It's gorgeous, and if you have never used their modeling paste, it is just so nice to work with. So I put that aside to dry, and once it dried, I trimmed down my cardstock to 11 inches for width, and then I took this black and white striped paper. Now this is from Felicity Jane, but it is not from the Zoe kit. It is from an iris container that I have with past kits that I purchased. Either I have broken apart the kits and you know, I just have little bits and pieces left, or it came from a few of the kits that I still have kitted together. But I thought that it needed something, it needed a little drama to that edge just to help ground that photo, and I felt like that black and white stripe was subtle enough. It was still light and airy, but it added the just the it took up a lot of room on the layout, even though it didn't. Does that make sense? I don't know how else to describe it. I'm having trouble using words today. I did not sleep well last night, so if anybody else can understand and sympathize with me on there. So I want to go ahead and get things stuck down because, like I said, it's finally coming together. It's exactly what I wanted without me knowing what I wanted. How many of you guys do layouts like that? I know I can't be the only one. I go into a layout with no vision of how I want it to come out, and when it's done, I'm like, that's exactly what I wanted. So it is at this point, and I want to get it down. I love the glassine envelope that I layered the photo on. If you have never tried layering a photo on glassine envelope, do it if you have one. It brings a lot of texture to your page, and it doesn't, you know, it doesn't take up a lot of visual space though. You're not introducing another color, but the texture that it gives is just phenomenal. So I did use my T-square ruler to line up these alphas. They are from the kit, the Zoe kit, and they are phenomenal. Oh my gosh, this is like one of the most perfect alphas ever. I like the font, and I like the width of the font, and I like the height of the font. It's just a nice neutral font, and I hope she comes out with this in a few different colors. It is something I would definitely use. So I did pull out some sequins. I am using some holographic sequins. The sequins that I have used on this are sold out. She sells them pretty quickly, but I will leave suggestions for sequins in the detail section below that are similar with, she has a holographic pack that she sells by herself or by itself. And that is, I love the holographic sequins. You can put them on any page with any color and they just work beautifully. And then the other little sequins that I'm using are these teeny tiny stars. And do I mean they are teeny tiny? It's probably best for like a shaker box, but you know, if you have followed me for any length of time, you know that sometimes I just have to do things a difficult way. And I use my quick dry adhesive and I glue those little bad boys down and they stay. And they're gorgeous. It just adds a little touch. You know, sometimes the little touches, the little things that you add are the ones I am attracted to. You might not necessarily see them right away, but I think that they make a big impact. And I really felt like those little teeny tiny star sequins made the biggest impact on this page. So the acetate that says good times, I just used a little teeny tiny bit of my ATG tape. I didn't want it to shift, and I'm going to go ahead and I used my tiny attacher and I'm going to staple that down as well. If I could have reached the hello and made it look right, I would have stapled that as well, just to repeat the staples, but it wasn't going to work, and I just didn't feel like, you know, breaking open the tiny attacher and making the staple work. So I did use a glue dot to glue down that noted flare that is also from Felicity Jane, and since I wasn't going to do the staple on that acetate, I used a little bit of the quick dry adhesive, and you know, you cannot tell that there is adhesive underneath that. That was why I wanted to try just a little bit. I knew that the ATG you would see, so I didn't want to put that up top, and it was an experiment for me, and it could be just because it's black, it hid the adhesive, but you know, if that helps you out, hopefully it does, and you can keep that in your bag of tricks. So the last thing I am going to add is a couple of these stars. They are from Felicity Jane as well, and I just used these black and white. They're small pinstripe, and it just really pulls together the white and black stripe on the left side of the page, and just love it. You know, plays on the star sequins that I added. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and to all of you moms of boys that say that you don't know how to use sequins on a page for a boy, I hope that you found inspiration with this. It can be done. It doesn't have to look girly, and I think that, you know, you can have fun with it. And someone else was saying that they weren't quite sure how to use them. I sprinkle them like I would enamel dots. That's the easiest thing. So that's it for me today. Thanks so much for joining me. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, I would appreciate it if you gave me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, subscribe to me if you haven't already, and I will see you guys soon. Take care. Bye.